Jay and Owen watching movies.
Keep going.
Alright, here we go with movies today. Okay, that's good.
Good.
Alright, you know who we are, I hope, from the intro, if you weren't distracted by our amazing body movements. And we just watched a couple movies, like friends do. You know, friends, they get together.
We don't do it very often.
No, we don't.
There's
but
a couple that I force you to watch. Short-lived series I make Jake watch.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. And there's like the whole thing, like, but
This one, I mean,
this is a casual.
I wanted to see that one.
I wanted to see this forever. I want to see How to Train Dragon 2, so you better watch the first one, and then we can watch the second one together.
Marathon.
Something like that.
Both of them.
No, that's true. Once it comes out.
And the cartoon.
What? I don't fucking know. I don't need it on comedy. It's like if I'm a Star Wars fan, I'm going to watch Clone Wars. You know, suck my dick. That shit looks terrible.
Maybe really good, actually.
It could be. But I think it's more of like that actiony kid-like good, you know what I mean? Some people watch Star Wars because it's got sweet-ass laser battles, and sure, when I was a kid I did. But now I watch it because it has Mark Hamill in the acting performance of his life, outside of Joker, or whatever.
He grew up on the 1, 2, and 3.
What? You mean 4, 5, and 6?
No.
I watched those before I saw 1, 2, and 3.
You were playing all those games.
Well, sure, but that didn't matter.
The Lego sets.
I mean, sure, I like Darth Maul. Okay, so I was around during 1, man, but I was old by 2 and 3, and I didn't give a shit about those. So, like, 1 was my movie because it came out with me. But 4, 5, and 6 was, you know, that's why I drew all my lightsabers and read the comics. The comics that came after and showed the dark side of Luke, I only had 1. But he got sucked up into this dark-ass portal, and that shit was cool. And they had different lightsabers. I drew so many. There's pictures in my drawer. I'll get them for you sometime. I designed lightsabers. That's what I did. I just drew little gadgets.
He has videos looking playing with lightsabers.
Yeah, I do. I got some that I edited them on. I have a couple that have glowing lightsabers for about 2 seconds, because after rotoscoping 48 frames, I was done.
I didn't watch them all the way through to 2000-ish.
Something. What?
I see bits of them as a kid. I wasn't really into sci-fi stuff when I was younger.
Yeah, I guess I can understand that. But yeah,
I also like the third movie. The actual third one.
So we watched the Lego movie. He got it on Blu-ray, but they give you DVD for asses like me that don't have to.
And if anyone's wondering, this was the Everything is Awesome edition. It comes with a little figure. I just brought this.
Oh, I see. Okay. So, this movie, I liked it. And it's weird, at least for me. Anytime there's... I mean, when you think of something that's like the Lego movie, right? When they're coming out, like when you think the Simpsons movie, it's like, how are they going to make a movie about something so big? You know, when it's something like... let's think of something more... You know, like Cars. Like, that one's a really big one, too. You know how you get these movies that are like, it's a huge concept, and then it follows like one little story. You know what I mean? And that's what this movie did. It's like... But I guess it's good because it kind of hit it under the huge concept, and then they kind of showed you what the little story was. Should you not spoil it too much? Or are we spoiling?
It's been out long enough. I mean,
yeah.
I saw the ending coming.
I didn't. Oh, maybe I did. Did I? I don't know. You saw me seeing an ending coming. If I did. But so it follows a normal brick dude named Emmett, who just lives in his normal everyday life, kind of like Truman Show.
Yep. Follows the instructions.
That's right. That's what you do in Lego Town. You follow the instructions. And then sort of like as a Matrix-y shift, he gets kind of like pulled out of the system. Shit, it's like fucking Truman Show meets the Matrix. No, actually, it's just the Matrix with Legos. And you find out there are all these different little worlds, and we still don't understand why there are all these different worlds, but we know that the big bad guy wants everything to be the same. And as one might imagine, they keep alluding to, you know, the man upstairs or whatever. And then they also allude to, like, relics, which are, like, Band-Aids and human shit. And then, lo and behold, he comes out. And, well, I didn't really expect it to be... I mean, I thought maybe that the giant cities and everything were imagined in the kid's mind. It was going to be, like, a fucking 3 playsets. I swear a lot. And it turns out it's, like, this guy's dad, Will Ferrell, this kid's dad, Will Ferrell, who's, like... Spoilers. Okay, we said we were going to spoil it, didn't we?
No, but it's too late now.
Just tag it. Or put it in the title. Just scream spoiler and videotape your face and put it right at the beginning of the movie. Just spoiler. Right at the but yeah, so it's his dad is just like a crazy Lego model builder, kind of like the modern day version of your train model builders. He's got his whole basement full of a big city that the kid's not allowed to play with, but he does. So now that... Yeah, go ahead.
The dad wants everything built exactly like the instructions and not to be changed, and then Western world doesn't get mixed in with Lego City and so on and so forth. You don't mix them. You don't build a bunch of random robot shit with the pieces. Which kind of reminded me as a childhood. I had a neighbor that had a lot of Lego. And depending on what we're doing, if we're building a little city, I tried to build it like it was. But once in a while, just fucking build a random spaceship. And he would throw a shit fit. It doesn't belong in our town.
Really?
Yeah. So there was, that's where I was kind of looking at it from, like, remembering there's people that only followed instructions. He didn't have any instructions.
Yeah.
He just had a fucking basket of Lego his mom got at a yard sale.
So, I mean, I think it's interesting because you do have, the people that play with Legos specifically to build with them by the instructions, and then they address these people called the master builders, and they could basically see all the parts and figure out how to make something. And that is kind of like two kind of people that play with Legos. I mean, I always like to just make stuff up, and then when they sort of pose the question where it's like, you guys have never built by the instructions, they find it hard. I mean, I think I've known kids that are like, I can't follow this. It's like all these pages. It is kind of a different challenge. So to kind of address it is like you're both skilled in different ways because you know how to go by this instruction book and like go back to forth and really make it happen. And you know how to just take parts and make something exist just from seeing those parts. Those are two valid Lego skills. So in terms of making a movie that's about Lego, and, it has to follow that set storyline because that's how movies work. It's not like they'd be like, all right, we're going to give you 36 hours and see everything Lego ever is. They took this little storyline and they expressed a lot of what building with Lego is within that storyline and created concepts based around it and had that guy voice Batman, which was cool.
I was a both builder.
Yeah.
Like, I would get the thing and put it together and play with it, and then after a while you just started combining it with other shit and just making stuff. But I could be... Like, I could look at they had the little books, and there'd be a picture of a building, like a place that you could buy. I could duplicate that.
Without the booklet, right?
Yeah. It was just to buy this kit. I'm like, find all these pieces. And maybe it's not exact, but a lot of times it look just like it.
Oh, really? So you could do it just from that. Well, sometimes it's tricky because they have that weird one that comes out and then gets curvy, and then that could be clipped into something. So you're like, how's it? Oh, it's got to be stuff,
I mean, they used to have those sets, and I don't know if you ever got to play with them, but... The little fancier ones with the motors, they had them in high school. Yeah. They used to just have a picture, and it's like it's a drill. And then I would build it, and it would work, and everyone just looked at me weird. Look at the picture. I did that with the neighbor kid, too. I was sick of... We had just bricks laid out, making a house structure to walk around with. I was sick of that. So in one of the books was a set with a roof. There was no instructions. I just looked at it, and I built it. And the back was open, so there's 2 stories. And the front was a full house. Of course, he threw a shit fit because his house sucked. Mine was awesome, but, I'd build trucks out of scratch and stuff. But then he had those muscle car trucks with the pipes that came out of them. Of course, we just built those because they were awesome the way they were. But, I don't know. I enjoyed this movie.
No, I think it was...
Best part was Spaceman.
Oh, yeah. Well, the thing... I was just saying, I was like, I have to remember, but... I mean, the thing...
cracked mask.
I mean, this movie, it definitely kind of plays on the random factor. There's a lot of list humor, you know what I mean? Where it'll be like montage style, like flip, 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 flip. And sometimes it's kind of random. And then you've got Spaceman, who is... Spaceship! Spaceship! That's kind of like plays on internet humor. So there's a little bit of that. I don't think it's too obnoxious, kind of in the way that Adventure Time will touch on that. And isn't too obnoxious, it just kind of takes the humor part of it. So, and for it to be a movie that's both appealing to getting your kid to laugh and then giving you stuff, like a lot of stuff they threw in there, those little humory bits were kind of adult things. Yeah.
No kid's gonna understand Spaceman.
No.
He yells and he's funny, but like they're not gonna stand a little crack in his helmet. Yeah. Beat up he look because he's from the 80s.
Yeah, I mean that's definitely it's like because people who had those sets in the 80s are gonna be like, yeah, I remember.
I remember losing his mask.
My stomach's really starting to hurt. Alright, let's go to the next movie.
Thumbs up.
Yeah.
Then we watched
FF6.
Fast and Furious.
FF6.
What a bunch of bullshit.
Yeah.
First of all, too much talking.
Oh, well, yeah.
You tune into this, you expect someone to be punched, someone to be shot, cars.
More cars.
The first half was something.
Yeah. And you know what? There was not a lot of cars in this movie. I mean, they had a freaking auction, and then they had some driving, but it didn't feel... It felt like... You know how cars are supposed to be a way to get from point A to point B, and then the original Fast and Furious movies made it look really cool that they were like drag racing on like a quarter inch. This just like they're getting point A to point B. It's like, all right, let's take these cars to go find the bad guy. Let's take these cars to get on the airplane. It's not like, let's drive these cars.
There's cars in here to back off from the plane.
You know, there's one instance where it was, you know, Vin Diesel and the girl that's dead racing each other.
No, shit.
Yeah, I don't think so.
She's in the trailer.
But even when they're racing each other, they're fucking racing through a crowded street, and it's more like point A to B to show you an action scene. It wasn't about the car revving. It wasn't about the shifting. Sure, they both flipped a NOS switch, but nobody gave a shit. In the old movie, they sort of built up with. This time, it's like, we're going past the truck. It's NOS. And then it was over. I mean, that was it for NOS. And she's like, oh, my NOS gauge is going out. That's it. That was it. That's what the movie was like. It's like, anytime... The one time they flipped on the NOS gauge and it was out before you knew it. This movie was one time they flipped on the Fast and Furious. I mean, the movie, the first one, I'm just flipping this little thing. It's a nervous tick. But so I mean, that race between his Challenger and that Nissan Skyline, which was, you know, these days any of the racer cars that they're driving here, they look way too polished. That Nissan Skyline was like a crazy ass. Late 90s, orange. It was matte. It wasn't shiny. It was fucking an actually awesome racer car. At least in my opinion. I really liked that car. And I liked the Challenger. And that race they had right at the end, it was clear. It was empty. You just watched the cars go. There wasn't fucking quick cuts. There wasn't too many. They actually, like, for that race, they kept the camera, like, steady on for, like, a lot of it. It was just the cars coming down, man. And now these days, you know, it's quick cut action scene. It's a sham of what it used to be. But I mean, I guess you had Vin Diesel. You had that guy before he died, whatever his name is. You had the two. Nice. You know, you had a lot of the original. Yeah, Paul walking. Anyway, I won't say anything. Walking on Sunshine.
Sure. So yeah, I mean, the ending where Vin Diesel leaves the attractive foreign girl for the ugly girl. Source, they were dating. He thought she was dead. And they're back together. She still doesn't remember him, but I guess they're just gonna date now.
Yeah, whatever.
She's not attractive. Fucking ugh.
No, I think Selena Gomez is attractive.
It's not Selena Gomez.
Oh, wait, what's her?
Anyways, I would agree. Selena Gomez is in fact pretty attractive. It's just, it didn't like the whole plane chase for the runway, fucking the length of the United States.
Yeah, go ahead. You know, I bet somebody has. Figure out how fast they're driving, miles per hour, figure out how long they're driving for, and you should be able to figure out that runway has to be like a 20-mile long runway. It's probably the entire length of Rhode Island. I don't know.
I mean, if you just want to turn your brain off and watch cars crash, sure. Go ahead.
But even then, you're mostly going to turn your brain off and watch people talk.
Yep.
And, like, have laser pointers on each other and go, ha.
And then watching the bad guy go toe-to-toe with The Rock and Vin Diesel made me laugh.
Yeah, I mean, the muscly guy, sure. But then they were just like, whatever, he's not as cool as this guy we know nothing about.
And then they kill him off, and then Jason Statham's going to be his brother.
Yep.
For the next one.
Jason Statham versus CGI Paul Walker, or Paul Walker's brother. Get ready. Fast 7. Or maybe they'll just call it I mean, they're just cutting out letters. They're probably going to combine an F and a 7, so it's like a 7F with like two things sticking out. And then Fast 8 will just be like just a symbol like Prince, and you'll just have to know that's what it is.
Also, like, since the guy from Tokyo Drift is dead, although he was in this and the movie before it,
yeah,
you know, they show him officially dying from the third movie by Jason Statham, setting up this next one.
Yeah.
So they decided, well, fuck it. If we don't have him, we don't need her either, so...
Well, that's the whole reason he went, because
they were going to go anyways.
They're going to go together, and then...
If she didn't die, they could have still went to Tokyo.
Yeah, but they had a reason to go. You know what? I think they put that scene in the movie, because they knew no one was going to go watch Tokyo Drift. So they're like, we better put that scene in so they will go see the 7th one, and... Yeah, I guess you said that wasn't even in Tokyo Drift, but they're trying to give people a reason to watch it. But why would you watch the movie if they just...
Crash was in it, but you didn't see him get out.
Yeah.
I think literally, originally, it was just a random car that accidentally hit him while they were racing.
And then they just decided we could make Tokyo Drift mean something. That's all the reason they did it. So, where's your thumb at? You know what? The way I do my thumbs is, would I purposefully watch it again?
No.
So I throw my thumb down.
I'm down.
Now, see, if it was on TV, would you change the channel? I probably would.
Yeah.
There we go.
Would we go see number 7 in theaters?
Probably.
We didn't see this one in theaters.
Well, that's true. Well, we would think about it and not end up doing it. It depends. You know, maybe...
Will I watch the next one? Yes.
I mean, if, like, someone amazing is going to be in the cast that you don't expect, like...
Vin Diesel. That's enough for me.
I guess that's true.
Although, other than, like, Pitch Black, it's sort of Chronicles of Riddick, which is not very good, but I like it. He hasn't done very many good movies.
What about The Pacifier?
That's one I still need to see.
I don't think I've seen that either. I just know that...
Terrible. Guys from Radio 911 wrote it, but they write a lot of shit in movies.
I don't care. They still wrote it. It's better than whoever this guy I don't know is one movie that obviously sucks.
I think this guy made a lot of Fast and Furious. And he might have made Triple
Okay.
X. Vin Diesel!
Diesel.
I just want to rub his bald head.
You know what? You know what I have to say? If you need a movie with cars, Diesel do.
I thought you were going to say if you need a movie with Diesel, I am Groot.
I just want to make fun.
No. We haven't even seen that movie yet.
Which one?
The one you mentioned seeing to say, said we watched this.
Yeah.
We could have watched Garden of Galaxies, but we watched this.
Yeah, I know. I want to see Andy. I want to see Andy as the guy. That's the only reason. What? I'm
Rocket Raccoon, Howard the Duck.
I guess that's cool. I haven't seen Howard the Duck.
He's in the end credits.
Shush! I didn't spoil it. You did. You could have just been.
Howard the Duck's in it.
You could have just
Seth Green.
You could have just been. Wait, who's Seth Green again? Oh yeah. Okay, you know when you first said Seth Green, I was thinking of Seth Rogen.
Could have been.
He was like, I'm Howard
Seth
Duck.
MacFarlane.
Or
Seth, my cousin.
Yeah.
You never met him, but there's a cousin named Seth. He could have been Howard the Duck.
That's true. It could have been Sephiroth.
Seth Green, a.k.a. Leonardo, now in the Ninja Turtles, since Biggs, the old pie fucker, got fired.
Wait, what?
They said he wanted to do other things, but I think they fired him because he did some sexist rant on Twitter.
Oh, oops.
Plus, he sucked in movies. He never went to any Comic-Cons for the panels. Seth Green hasn't even had an episode on air where he's doing a voice yet. At this year's Comic-Con Ninja Turtle panel. Bam! That's what you need.
That's true, you know, because they got to realize today's kid shows are for like 20-somethings. It's just the truth.
Ice Cream Kitty for life. He doesn't watch Ninja Turtles. That's the end.
That's the signal. Thanks for joining Jake and Owen. I'm gonna poop some point. I hope it's soon.
Vin Diesel.
Vin Diesel!